this is Mick, Hampshire Outdoors and Survival. Hope you're having a wonderful day wherever you are. Let's crack on with it. Oh, and by the way, ambient temperature today is 5 degrees. It's a northerly wind. Air temperature was dropping it down to -1, but at the moment in the sheltered areas it doesn't feel too bad. We'll see how we crack on. That's Mickey, Hampshire Outdoors and Survival. Mickey out. That light's terrible. It's going to be a bit of an overcast day today, I'm afraid. So, path's got a bit narrowed down through here, due to the fact that they built a new massive warehouse alongside the river, and sort of pushed the boundary over a bit, which has made the path a bit cramped. I'm pretty sure the guys that surveyed it and that realised they could gain an extra few feet, but hey ho, we'll push on. So we're still on the Cove Brook. We've just crossed the Hawley Road for those that know the area, and we're following the little footpath down towards the River Blackwater. Nice little walk, nothing too strenuous. Again, it's along water courses, so it keeps it fairly flat and makes it fairly pleasant. There we go, Mickey out. Well, that didn't go to plan, did it, Murph? No, it didn't. So, what was probably 15 years ago, a path that me and a couple of mates used to take, excuse the train, thought them buggers were striking. Yeah, me and a mate used to take to travel down the brook to the River Blackwater for our fishing adventures. Excuse my finger, I should move it out of the way. That's blocked now, it's been encroached upon. I wouldn't say it's an illegal encroachment. I think somebody's bought a bit of land down there. It's fenced off, can't go through that way anymore, which is a bit of a shame. The alternate route's going to mean me walking about 4 or 5 miles round, and I don't feel up to that today. So on the way out, we're in this nice little bit of woodland, and unfortunately there's no way of me knowing whether it's private or public. However, I've had a good look through. There's no paths at all. There's just a very, very slight trail coming in, which I think is more of an animal trail, and the path down the brook's been cut, and there's no private signs. There's nothing to give me an indication that this isn't anything other than a small patch of common land that's been left because nobody could build on it. It's bisected by a river. 10-20 metres the other side of that you've got a mainline railway, so it's a piece of land that's not in use. So I'm going to take the chance. I'm going to set up a basher here and make a brew. Hopefully I'm not on somebody's private property. If I am, I will apologise. I've taken every procedure I can to make sure I'm not encroaching on somebody else's private ground. If there have been signs that somebody was using it, then I probably wouldn't come in here. However, there's no signs, there's nothing to say it's private. It just says to me it's a piece of waste ground that's fallen to one side. It's not managed at all. I can't find any sign of management. There's a lot of dead hanging wood, there's a lot of dead standing. Yeah, if the council wanted to sell it, or whoever owns it wanted to sell it, I'd probably buy it just to turn it into a little natural area. Yeah, it's got railway one side, but you've got a pretty river the other side. It'd make a good little nature reserve and wild camping area. But there we go, that's it. So I'm going to set up a basher, make myself a brew, give you some thoughts for today, and I think that'll probably be it. Guys, take it easy, Mickey out. Oh. Not a passenger choo-choo. So let's get a brew on, let's have a chat, let's see what we're going to do. So today I'm going to use the gasifier. I'll move the camera in a second, give you guys a bit of a close-up of what I'm doing, how I'm doing it. I don't know how the head cam works. Hopefully that will give you a reasonable view of what I'm doing. Shelter wise, yeah, full length in here, no problem at all. Get my kit behind me, that's not an issue. I've got a peak in front of me, I can cook there. Obviously be aware of sparks, flames, heat on that. Obviously it's a nylon plastic, but again, plough point shelter is a nice, simple, basic shelter, and it works. You could, if you didn't have the tree, just use the walking pole here and then anchor a guy line from that front point down to the ground, and it will create for you exactly the same configuration. So you could use it on open ground. It's a go-to for a lot of guys. A lot of guys like the plough point. You get the back into the wind and you've got nothing to worry about. Like the fact of the overhang, and it gives good shelter and good protection. Obviously if you're in conditions where you've got mist and intense cold, you want to get this closed up, so you're going to go for more of an enclosed tent type shelter. But obviously for summer, and probably about 60-70% of the year, this will do your ground. If you've got a bivvy bag, yeah, that's another good go-to. Get into your bivvy bag, get that into, or get your sleeping bag, bivvy bag set up. Brilliant, away you go. Lightweight, easy and efficient. So let's swap over to head cam. Right, got my brew on. That's going to boil up shortly. So I think it's time to. That water's warming up, lovely. Let's get me dinner in there. Goes in like that. As you see today, I'm not wearing my glasses. I'm trying to do this. Glasses free. Yeah, trying to. Why? Because I've got a bit of a theory about my glasses and my eyes, and that is, if I wear my glasses regularly, my eyes deteriorate. If I exercise my eyes, in other words, don't always wear my glasses and push for some longer, or push my eyes to work, it seems to relax. So if I have long periods indoors where I'm at the computer, I sort of stuff my vision up. Yeah, if I get outside, I spend a day literally not wearing my glasses, out and about like this. It seems to improve my vision. Not to the point where I can read a book or use my computer without my glasses, still need them. However, it seems to improve my vision. So I've got the theory I'm exercising my eyes. I don't know if it works or not, but again, you got muscles in your eyes. So in my humble opinion, by doing that, I'm improving my vision, or maintaining my vision. I doubt if you can improve it once it starts going. Bush camp, right, so yeah, it's going to be in April, so not long now. 20 people up the woods. We're going to be there from the we're going to do from the Saturday to the Sunday, and it's going to be as well. I'd like to get up there mid-morning, 10 o'clock, give people a chance to travel in, set up a bit of a camp, have a chat. People can demonstrate skills. You can show off as much as you want, or you can watch and learn as much as you want. Chat, have a laugh, have a joke. We'll get into the evening. Those who want to bring a beer or two. We'll get the fire going and we'll all have a sit around, cook up our scoffs. So it's a case of, I'm pretty much supplying the woods. You guys are going to need to supply your food, shelter and that for the weekend. If you want to cook on a gasifier, I've got no issues with it. You want to cook on a little wood folding stove, got no issues with it. gas, no issues. You know, cooking methods, systems like this, not a problem at all. However, we're only going to have one fire pit in the woods, and that will be the main fire pit, which you've all seen on the other videos. Plenty of sitting around it. That's going to be the social area in the evening. Facilities up there are fairly limited, so if you can bring a litre of water with you, it helps. If not, don't panic. We'll do what we can, but we'll probably be guys in all a couple of 20-litre jerry cans is what I've got. So yeah, hopefully I don't have to run off and get water too often. Other than that, you know, it's a wild camp, it's a meet-up, it's a let's have fun. All I'm going to do is provide you with the woods. However, what I will say, I'm getting the woods, and I'm getting the woods free of charge. Okay. However, I would like, if possible, and I understand not everybody's in the same situation, so what I've decided is there will be a pot to one side, and if anybody wants to make a donation to that pot, more than welcome. And all that is for, that is pretty much just to cover any overheads like petrol or diesel, running people to and from petrol stations, because I don't want to charge people. But also at the end of the day, that is also going to go back to Surrey 4x4 tours, and it is a thank you. Okay, they're not charging us for the woods, they're letting us use it, and as we're all aware, that's difficult these days to find somewhere where you can. So what I want to do, I want to be able to give Gareth and the lads something, even if it's just a drink, to say thanks for letting us do that. We really appreciate it. Bear in mind, they'll have put off work for that weekend, so they'll have cancelled courses so that we can use it. So again, there, whatever you can afford, I don't care if it's 50p, I don't care. It just gives them a thank you. And again, by showing that appreciation, hopefully we'll be allowed to do it again, maybe even make it a regular thing. So now, that's the Bushcraft, 500 subscribe. That's 5. To get it out, 500. I mean the 500. Oh dear, guys, the 500 subscriber giveaway. Okay, no, which is the the Heitman stove and the cook set, which I've shown on the other videos. So it's a 2-person complete cook set, cups, knives, forks, spoons, absolutely everything you need, gas cooker, the lot. And also for the second one, I've decided 2 people at 500, the Heitman methylated stove. Yeah, it's a bit of a stall at the moment, can't odds that. Maybe it's how I'm putting the videos out, maybe it's how I'm labelling them, I don't know. So it's probably something to do with the algorithm. But yeah, we'll push on, we'll get there. Not an issue. The prizes are already there. The main thing is you guys that are watching this seem to be enjoying it. I'm I'm looking at possibly doing a live stream. Don't really know. Let's move that camera because it looks like it's possibly going to rain shortly. So one of the things I'm looking at is a live stream. Never done anything like that before. Find the thought of it a bit scary, but I've got a couple of mates that sort of going to help me out. So yeah, there may be a live stream coming up. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. I suppose there for me to answer your questions, have a natter and all the rest of it, give you information, give you ideas. Well, I don't know, tell a few stories, get on with it. Other than that, I've one of my neighbours who watches has said to me, do a Q&A video. Okay, so I'll do a Q&A video. I want to start doing a main video out each week doing something like this, and then a little video midweek to just keep you entertained and let you know what's going to be coming up. So maybe that will be the little video next week, a Q&A. So hit me up in the comments, okay, ask me a question. You can ask me any question you like, okay, any question at all. It doesn't bother me, I've got nothing to hide. If you want to know about me, that is. If it's bushcraft survival related, yeah, hit me up with that. If there's things you want to discuss, things you want to get into, things you want to look at, or you want me to look at, or you want me to video, yeah, let me know. You know, that's what it's all out there for. Today, I suppose you'd call this a stealth camp. You know, we're out somewhere, set up a camp, get a brew on, build a shelter, get under the shelter, make ourselves comfy, and then when we've done having the brew, we'll head our way back. So yeah, there's that. So hit me up in the comments for the Q&As. I'm going to get my coffee on, have a brew, and then we'll see about getting out of here. Alright guys, take it easy, Mickey out. All in the bag done. That rest to one side. Out the coffee cup. Turn that off to heat. Little gasifier stove's working nice, and I'll throw out some heat in here. Been captured quite nice by the shelter. Just check the top. No, we're not causing any issues up there. Yeah, so little gasifier stove on wood pellet. Excuse the smoke, that is just leaves stuck to the bottom of the little cook pot. So it create a little bit of smoke, but the bonus is there. If this was summer and I was in a, so say we've got an area like this where it's alongside a river or a stream, you're going to get a lot of bugs. So again, don't panic if a few leaves stick to the bottom of your brew pot and then burn off. That little bit of smoke that it's creating, and it is just a little bit of smoke called a smudge, is just going to keep those bugs and insects away. Makes it a little bit more comfortable. If you were being completely stealthy, you clear that away, you wouldn't give away any smoke or any clue that you were there. So let's have that off the heat. Oh, there's a bad move. Of that. So there we go. Got me boiled in the bag. Chili and rice. Oh, that's steamers. Gonna have to let that cool down. Sip my coffee. That's steamers, gonna have to let that cool down. Right. In that case, I'm gonna pause the video there. Whilst I'm waiting for that to cool down to an edible level, I'm gonna have a fag. Right, so have a little smoke. On we go. Sorry about that. Had to stop there for a second. Got a phone call from my cousin. He needs a bit of help with a quad bike, so I'll have a look at that and fix that for him. So we're going to do a Q&A. I'm going to look like I'm going to try and get set up, figure out how to do a live stream. See how that goes. Might make that a regular thing as well. Next week I'd like to start covering a bit more emergency stuff, so I want to do some water purification next week. Boring subject, but we'll get out and about and we'll do some water purification. We'll start with the simple stuff, train again. Thought them buggers were striking. Yeah, so we'll do some water purification, and we'll talk about the ups and downs of that, because again, it's something I've seen a lot of people doing, and let's face it, it's one of those subjects, you get it wrong, you make yourself very, very ill, potentially kill yourself. Get it right, you've not got an issue. So I think it's a subject that needs to be covered, and we'll also see if we can start finding some of these spring plants. So that'll be next week's video. We'll probably throw in a shelter, so we'll go out somewhere, rig up a shelter, take some water from a source, purify it using a basic system, make a brew, have a meal out. I hope all you guys are good, and I hope you're all well. Well, the weather at the moment in the UK is, yeah, it's ups and downs. We've got a cold spell coming in. It's cold by night. Again, you can't trust the newspapers and the media, because some are saying it's a beast released, oh, we're all going to freeze and we're all snowed in and it's going to be terrible. You get the others going, then you check with the Met Office and they're like, yeah, it's going to be pretty much average for the time of year. So again, what do you do? Do you go with the alarmist media, or do you go with common sense? Well, run with common sense. Prep for the worst, live the best. Other than that, don't want to get political, and that's one thing on my channel that I got views about things that annoy me, but we're not going to get into that. That might be for the live stream or something. There I might post a couple of questions, might chuck a couple of things out there to some of you guys to see how you feel. And it's not a I'm right, you're wrong thing. It is a case of share views, share ideas, discuss, yeah, come to a decision. Some of you might change my point of view on things, as the same as I might be able to show other guys something in a different light. God, I am waffling now, aren't I? So, what do we want out of life? God, that was a question I got asked. What do we want out of life? I'll tell you what I want out of life. I want to be able to smile. And by this, I mean I want to be able to watch my granddaughter grow. I want to see my sons, their partners, and know they're happy. I want to see my wife, know she's happy. If I can get out into the woods or out into this sort of environment once a week, have a bit of peace, bit of me time, bit of thought time, I'm happy. If I can know my friends are all healthy and fine, yeah, that's what it's about. Future things that might be coming up, and I say might be, as again it depends on life, where it takes us, fitness levels and things like that. But a friend of mine suggested us do, or me and him, walk in the West Highland Way, and I like the idea of it. I do like the idea of it. However, I have to be a realist. West Highland Way, it's a long schlep. I'm near 60, I'm carrying injuries, and if I do it, I want to lug the kit with me, and it's going to be 10 days. Realistically, can be done in half that for people that are super fit. But do it over 10 days. Short legs, a tarp or tent by night. It's sorting out the admin. So really, weight wise, if you're doing something like that, you don't want to be carrying too much weight. So it's setting up resups, whether that might be contacting people to cache stuff for us that we can resup on the way, or meet with us on the way so that we can resup. Max, like me, we're probably quite happy to go with boiling the bags, and then do fresh every sort of third day. So 3 sets of fresh. Yeah, water's not going to be too much of an issue on that one. Again, wild sources up there aren't too bad. So basically you want a good sort of 24 to 48 hour sup of water, and then filter and purify as you need to. So again, no reason next week get into water purification. And that all comes back with your preparation to your rule of 3. And the rule of 3 is quite simple, as steady as you want to remember. 3 minutes no oxygen, 3 hours with no shelter, 3 days with no water, 3 weeks with no food. Okay, that's the rule, basic rule of 3. Now, we discussed the rule of 3. That's in perfect situations. If you're going without food, yes, you can survive. The average body will survive 3 weeks before it dies of no nutrients. But you start to deteriorate within hours. Your muscles will start to deteriorate, your energy levels will drop, your ability to concentrate starts to fail. Your body is a machine. You need to keep it lubricated, hydrated, and you need to keep it fueled, food. Okay? So again, you need to adapt that. 3 minutes with no oxygen. Well, I've been a smoker most of my life. I doubt if I could go a minute with no oxygen. Yeah, my lung capacity isn't what it used to be. Hydration. Okay. Hydration, 3 days of no water. Again, after hours, your body will start to deteriorate due to lack of water. Alright. The 24 hours, you're going to be damaging your kidneys. Okay, if you're in a high stress, high energy, high temperature situation, before that you'll start damaging your kidneys. So again, it's about having common sense and applying it. Don't just go to the extreme. Practice to go easy. So yeah, we'll make sure that we're hydrated and we're supplied. Shelter. People always get a bit confused with that when they're new to it. And they say to me, well surely the water and the food's the priority. Shelter, you can huddle under a tree. Can huddle under a tree. Tree is shelter. This is shelter. Keep the wind off, keep the rain off, keep the sun off. Right? 3 hours. Okay, you have 3 hours in which to create shade and get into shade in a hot, dry climate or hot, sunny climate, or else you're going to go down with heat stroke. In a wet environment, you've got 3 hours to get yourself dry. Right? Water and being wet doesn't kill you, and being cold doesn't necessarily kill you. If you combine the two, you will last no time at all. Hypothermia will catch you, and hypothermia is one of the biggest killers in this sort of practice and this sort of environment. It leads to people making bad decisions. So although the cause of death may be he walked off into the night, fell off a cliff in the darkness, when you take it back to its basis, was his thought process impaired by hypothermia? Because hypothermia does that, it impairs your thought process. So instead of rigging the shelter, sitting down, sitting tight on that path, waiting out the situation, people start to get a bit irrational. So again, keep the hypothermia off, protect yourself from hypothermia. It should be always, your first thought should be this core temperature in the human body. You need to manage that. Now, today it's cold, so I've got a fleece, I've got a shirt, and it's a light, very light shirt. I can recommend these to anybody. Right, it's a very, very light shirt, but it is windproof. Okay. Underneath that, I've got a Dutch version of the Norwegian. It's the Norwegian base layer. It's a little bit lighter than the Norgie. It's a little bit thinner. It's still nice and warm. It's got full sleeves, as you can see. And what I've done, because I've come to rest and I've been exercising and I'm now out of the wind, I've dropped to this. I'm moderating my body temperature. I'm not sweating. Avoid sweat. Okay? Sweat causes chafing. Sweat causes your body to chill faster when you stop. So you drop your layers down to allow your body to adapt to the temperature. If it starts to get cold or you're feeling you're cold, layers on. Okay. One I've done myself in a situation where I was actually unable to rig a tarp. It was too windy, too wet for me to rig the tarp. Completely barren area, blowing a hoolie, bitterly cold, bitterly wet, and I was like, what am I going to do? Okay. I spent that night, what I actually did was I laid my tarp down on the ground. I got into it at one end. I literally rolled up in my tarp. Pretty much literally rolled up in it. Bag itself. Okay. Now that created layers within the tarp which trapped my body heat. Oh no, if anything, I would say that the main thing I was concerned there wasn't about moisture, it was about being warm. Yeah, getting through that night and surviving the cold. And it worked. It created a barrier that stopped my body temperature from escaping because it created layers, and it also kept me going. I didn't roll up in it super tight. I pushed my arms out as I rolled up in it, so it actually gave a bit of air space around me. But that worked. And all in all, I think I ended up with about 4 or 5 layers of tarp around me, and that got me through. Wasn't the most comfortable night, wasn't a pleasant night at all, but yeah, kept me warm, stopped me dying from hypothermia. What else is there? Yeah, hypothermia sneaks up on you. Usually it's your friends will notice it in you before anything else, but I teach people, and I will tell you, if you start shivering, you're on the road to hypothermia. Okay, as soon as you start shivering, you should be thinking to yourself, right now I am too cold, and you need to act then and do something about it. Your next stage is you will start thinking that you're warm, and you'll start removing clothes. That's a change in core temperature. That's your body doing everything it can to keep itself warm. So your extremities will stop feeling cold, and you'll start thinking to yourself, yeah, I'm alright. Helicopter, we'll give them a second or two to go over. Noisy buggers, isn't they? Well, we've got a lot of airports around here, small and large, and military. There we go. 2 military ones. Right, yeah, so back to hypothermia. Okie doke, so start shivering, act then. Next stage, you're starting to remove your clothing, starting to feel warm and comfortable, and have a full sense of security. Yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm starting to feel warm. But it's an irrational warmth. What you'll notice with the person is everybody else is still freezing their tits off. Okay? There's no reason for them to be feeling warm, and they will start removing clothes. And then they tend to go to sleep, and they don't get up. If they're at that stage where they're starting to reduce clothing, you are in serious, serious trouble. Okay? If you've got an EPIRB or you've got a rescue system, that's, yeah, get them off the mountain. Yeah, at that point, get them off. Okay, they can become very, very irrational. If it's in yourself and you're on your own and you've got to that situation, yeah, I'm sorry, your rationality is going to probably kill you. Very, very rare anybody in a solo situation that gets to that point makes it. So you've got to head it off at the pass. You've got to catch it before you get to that situation. So if you constantly think to yourself, am I warm enough? Am I comfortable enough? If you start shivering whilst you have rationality, right, warm up, shelter, get a brew on, get warm food into you, fuel that machine, give it a chance to fight. You don't want scalding hot, because that actually acts as an opposite. Your body then starts trying to cool your internals because you put super hot in there. Better to actually have something about body heat. Okay, have something warming so that it warms you, fuels you. Get out the wind, get out the rain, get shelter over you or around you. Okay, if you can get it, if you're in wet gear, get into dry gear. If you're in wet gear, you can't get into dry gear. Okay, Get as much moisture out of that gear as you can and get yourself sheltered from the wind. Comes back wind and rain or wind and wet, it just sucks the heat out of you. Okay, if you can't warm the ground, get off the ground. Okay, not in every situation you can, but start thinking, what can I do to get off the ground? Can I anything to lift me off the ground? Can I build a layer? What can I put between me and the ground just to keep myself warm? Yeah, again, ground sucks heat out of you. Okay, that's hypothermia. Hypothermia is a stinker. If there's one thing I'd like to teach people to avoid in their lives, it would be that. Control body temperature. Heat stroke's the same. Heat stroke sneaks up on you. It's pretty much the opposite to hypothermia. That overheating of the core temperature causes an irrational response as the body tries to sort itself out. Causes breakdown of mental ability, and it leads to death very, very quickly. Dehydration will go the same route, and you can apply dehydration to heat stroke and hypothermia. One of the things is when people are cold, they stop taking in body fluid or stop taking in fluids. So if you're doing something strenuous, you can be dehydrating and going down with hypothermia. Warm drinks, little and often. Okay. Oh. Anyhow, I don't know how this is all going to work, or how it's all going to apply together. I'm going to pack up camp in a second, and I'm going to go home and see about uploading this video to my computer, and I'll see about editing it tonight and tomorrow, and get it up for you tomorrow. Guys, this is Mick. Excuse me, stiff shoulder, been in one position too long. This is Mick. Hampshire Outdoors Survival. I hope you're having a wonderful time wherever you are. Hope the weather's good for you. Hope your family are great. Your friends are good. Remember, love those you do, forgive those you don't, and as always, peace, love and light be on you all. May you have a wonderful time. Please like, subscribe, comment, let me know what you want to see. Hit me up with ideas. To you guys out there in the other YouTube channels, hi guys, hope you're doing well. Other than that, it's nice and peaceful out here. I'm going to get packed away now, and I'm going to see about having a bimble home. Guys, take care. Catch you on the next one. Mickey out.